Tell me about the color. What was your inspiration behind this? It's sort of.
I just like the color. I like a purple blue.
Yeah, it reminds me of a big plum.
It's a lot of fun, and everybody that comes over thinks this is the coolest thing, as a space to get away from the house. So yeah, I planned it out. I had to figure I was facing this way. I wanted to sit facing that way. I wanted that tree in the window, and then computer, screen, monitor, scanner, then a printer, large format printer. Another printer, smaller, and then flat files for prints and things. All the drawers of all the negatives from all the years, and these are all 8x10s. So this is an,
look at the light coming through that. Fabulous.
These old 1860s lenses. They're kind of screwed up. They're just a brass thing with some glass in them, and they kind of, that's how they look at the world. No, it's a really fun combination of practicality and aesthetics. I mean, that's part of the whole modernist thing, I guess. It's welcoming, it's fun, and it's whimsical, and it looks cool, and nobody else has one.
And you've got the extra tall door. This was a.
Do you know why?
I do. I do. No, that was
that's why I requested it.
Yeah, this might actually be our only 7-foot operable door that we've done.
It's well insulated. It's obviously very airtight because it's hard to close the door when the windows are shut.
Right.
The design aesthetics, such as the boards and the floating of the boards, comes from an actual solution to a problem. You know, how do you supply siding to somebody that, you know, you don't want them to have to goof with it and fit it all the time? It pretty much puts itself together. So it has an aesthetic that comes from its utilitarianism. It works really well.
There is competition, which is fine. I think competition's good. I think competition helps define the differences between one thing or another. But I mean, obviously, I like hearing why from someone, and why something's different, and why they like this.
The other people doing them, they're not as far along. They're not as developed as this design is. This is cleaner. It's more utilitarian. It's more adaptable. It's more customizable, as opposed to something that's sort of a folly. A cute building out in the trees, it's fun to camp out in, but may not hold up for more than a couple of seasons. So we do a lot of big prints for wineries. We made really, really big stuff. We made 10-foot long things, and that's what an 8x10 negative looks like.
So it looks like I see a polyp on my lung inside the right quadrant.
Yeah, we're going to have to look out for this right here. This is obviously non-linear. That's part of it. We're going to have to go in for a colonoscopy, I'm afraid.
Into my lung? You have to go in from the bottom?
Oh, yeah. There's 2 ways in, you know. You know, it was pretty slick having all the parts in one box, ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, because you built this all yourself.
Yes. I don't know. It wasn't. I mean, it's a 3 to 4 day gig. If these are all painted and you're ready to go, it's 3 days.
Yeah. Love that part.
Ta-da! And so, you know, you're starting off a thing that's square and level and plumb and all that, and then you get the walls up, and then all your lumber seemed to be very good, very true and clean. So all the walls matched up. I didn't have to do any torquing. Nothing seemed to be out. Yeah. I mean, Jerry delivered it that one morning, and I started working on it around 2 in the afternoon. My wife came home from work about 5:30. Yeah. I had the perimeter of the floor in.
Right.
So we put up all the walls that evening.
Right. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Exactly.
And then my father-in-law came over, who was totally old school, and he was pretty impressed. I mean, we did the whole roof section, put in the beam and put in the roof pieces, just like in the manual. It popped together.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
He's now 80, hard as nails, and he was just like, "Okay, this is good." It passed the muster of the old school guys.
Yeah.
So I want to build everything from stick from the ground up.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And
no.
You know, he was impressed at the insulation, how it popped together. You can't tell the seams from the tongue and groove.
Right. And actually, you've got these are one of the early ones. We actually have a trim kit now that we're sending with the whole interior.
Well, yeah, no, I only put the trim here. I didn't put it here because I wanted to. I was desperate for space.
Yeah.
Everything up against the wall. I wanted to be able to slide things without catching on it.
Yeah.
And they seemed to fit pretty tight without it, so I left it off. I didn't put anything along the bottom. I actually had the flooring guy come in and put in 4-bow first, and then I put the wall panels. So as you can see, the wall panels just sit on top of it.
Yeah.
Nice flush fit, no baseboard, nothing in the way.
Well, see, I love this look. We were going to do this originally. It's hard to get that.
Yes. To get it just so.
And so that's why we started sending the trim kits with everything. And that way people can do them or not. Well, this is cool. I like the way this works.
And it's a heater, it's an air conditioner.
Right.
All rolled in one. So.
For me, I think, modernism is about simple. I mean, you look at the principles of modernism, aside from the obvious design of it, is I think it's really providing this simpler solution for people. It's not about a more expensive idea, something that's ritzy or trendy. It's about just, okay, what works, what makes sense. And I think we've always, prided ourselves on being solution-based.
You can use them for so many things. And you can just picture 100 different ways of building these and setting them up. From one single one to multiples to little communities with common areas. And with kids running around, I got 2 young kids, and then eventually it's a boy and a girl, and they had to have separate rooms. They were just at each other all the time.
Right.
So I needed to build something outside the house. We have the space for it, but taking 6 months to build something myself, to design it, find the materials, find the time, build it, was going to cost me more in downtime and trouble than buying something like this that goes up in 4 days. Which it would if I hadn't had to paint the boards. Because I didn't know the color quite yet, I had to tweak it in. So I specified gray, because I would just figure it would be primer and I'll paint it.
Well, we might actually we considered offering it unpainted, so people could have that option. But we want to be able to also tell people what the value of the painting is, because it actually is a lot of work for us. You're having to paint all the parts.
Have Modern Shed paint it for you. Do not paint this yourself. It's not easy. So I like old funky lenses, whatever I can find. It's very sharp in the center, and then it kind of goes out. And it goes out in a really interesting way.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, yeah, it's like you could taste the image.
Obviously, modernism is very popular in the Bay Area here.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of stories about it. It slid a slippery slope away from utilitarian solution to a problem that was clean, and it slid into very cold, exotic spaces. They're hard and impractical. This is not hard and impractical. This is a completely practical building. And it's extremely warm and inviting and fun. It's got a whimsy to it. I mean, what more do you want? That's it. I needed a space to go work in, to be away from the rest of the household. And I also want something that feels good. This is sort of the least amount of material it takes to build a space of this size. That's the solution. There's nothing cleaner and simpler than this. This is it. It doesn't have a lot of fluffy things on it.
Very much like the Vatican, I think, in that way.
You think? Maybe we need we need an accessory pack for Modern Shed. Cupolas, maybe some onion domes.
Ornamentation.
Gargoyles? I'll bet you gargoyles would sell.
I think just you would buy them.
True. I'd put like 100 on it.